scared right now.
It's going to be a long road ahead if it hits us.
Irma is still on the move tonight, leaving a path of death and destruction in the Caribbean islands. At least 10 people we know have been killed by this storm.
And we're talking winds, hard to imagine here, upwards of 180 miles an hour.
And those are just some of the outer bands you're listening to. The message from officials in Florida tonight: get prepared now. Do not wait until we know the exact path of this storm. Hundreds of thousands of people following those directions, and that means things like food and gas are now in short supply.
Team coverage of the mass exodus tonight from on the ground in Florida and as people arrive here at Reagan National Airport. But we do want to start with Steve Rudin in the Hurricane Center update that came in just seconds ago. Steve?
And some changes with the storm. It has weakened just a tiny bit, but let me tell you, it is still a very strong Category 5 hurricane. From the 8 o'clock update compared to now, the wind speeds have now diminished to 165 miles per hour compared to 175 miles per hour. The wind gusts, instead of 215, now at 200 miles per hour. It's still keeping its west-northwesterly track at around 16 miles per hour, and that will keep it on track to make potential landfall somewhere across South Florida late Saturday night and into early Sunday morning. Here's the latest for you. The track just updated. It's going to track toward the east or west-northwest and then eventually make that landfall southern Florida by early Sunday morning as a Category 4 storm. But as it moves in, it's going to weaken just a bit. Any way you look at it, we're not looking at a huge shift in terms of its exact location. These areas to the east and to the west have stayed pretty much the same. And in this cone of uncertainty, this is where the storm may go. We're not saying that it's going to go directly up the middle. It may move a little bit farther off toward the east, and that could be even more devastating for Miami and for Fort Lauderdale and for West Palm Beach and Boca as it moves up the coast. A lot can change between now and then, but these models are coming together, and that is definitely not good news for South Florida. In a few minutes, we're going to talk about the rest of the track and where we expect it to be by early next week and how it could impact our area. But first, we head over to our Brad Bell. He is live in Boca Raton, Florida. Things are quiet now, and a lot of folks are evacuating. I have family and friends that have chosen not to evacuate who are in your area. Have you found that to be a common theme?
Yeah, you know, a lot of the people who are from here and have been here for a long time, they're staying. I got to tell you personally, you know, the timing of this storm coming in the middle of the night, I've been through a lot of hurricanes. When they come at night, it just makes it that much scarier. The damage may be the same, but it becomes frightening. Look, there's so much to worry about with this storm. We are here at the inlet at Boca. This is where the Atlantic Ocean connects with the intercoastal waterway. And, you know, storm surge is something that we talk about. So look, you see the water here now. The tide's just starting to head out. We've only got about 1.5 feet before the water comes up and over this seawall, and they're talking about this storm surge 5 to 10 feet. You know, I can barely reach 8 feet high, but that's about where the storm surge would be. Over here on this side, that's fine. Over there, it would be up and into the lower levels of those condos. Now, you talk about people leaving. Take a look at these condos here. The one on the left, we can only see 2 or 3 lights left on there. It is getting late. People have gone to bed. Earlier, we never saw more than 4 lights in that building. This one over here, look, down to 2 lights on. It's never really busy at this time of year here, but people are getting out of Dodge. Now, I want to show you some video of one of the other challenges people are facing, and that is gasoline. You know, we've heard about it. We saw it today firsthand. We arrived down. We flew down this morning, got in a rental car, went out, acutely aware of where you can get gas or not get gas. You know, about half the stations seemed not to have any, and then we would find some that had gas. There would be a line there. This evening, as we drove around, we saw even fewer stations that seemed to be still selling gasoline. A lot of people trying to get out. Some of the highways have been crowded. We saw the airport was crowded. People are scared by the video they have seen of what this storm has already done. You know, and you hear the numbers still blowing gusts of 200 miles an hour. And in this area, if it comes up the coast, this talk that we're going to be seeing hurricane force winds for more than 12 hours. Boy, that can do a lot of damage. A lot of buildings are boarded up, and tomorrow we expect to see even more. We'll be here. We'll be monitoring the situation and bringing you reports for the next several days. So in Boca Raton, Brad Bell, ABC 7 News.
Brad, thanks very much. We look forward to your reports, and you can understand the fear on those folks trying to get out of the way of this thing. People from Florida seeking safety anywhere they can get it. A plane full of them landing tonight at Reagan National Airport. That's where Annalisa Gale joins us live with those stories. And Annalisa, I'm sure a lot of those folks are relieved getting off those planes knowing they're thousands or a couple thousand miles away now.
Jonathan, I could definitely see the relief on their faces. Around 8 p.m., we saw about 4 flights coming in from Florida. In about 3 hours, we're expecting 4 more, 2 from Miami around 1 a.m. Those delays you can see there. Here, Orlando coming in just before midnight. Also delays there. Many say they are just trying to make sure that they are safe.
The water is gone, food is gone, and there are so many cars on the street.
As areas like Miami-Dade expands their evacuation orders, Floridians are being proactive after Hurricane Irma wreaked havoc in Barbuda and left hundreds in the dark in Puerto Rico.
We were notified today that at 3 o'clock we would all were authorized to leave.
Kevin Fleming is a federal civilian employee at the Patrick Air Force Base near Cocoa Beach. He landed at Reagan on Thursday night.
There was a evacuation for everybody that was non-mission essential.
We also found concerned moms like Gina Meng from West Palm Beach and GB Jacobs from Fort Lauderdale, both traveling with little ones. By evacuating, they hope to keep them safe.
It is scary.
We left, from Fort Lauderdale to Orlando, and it took us a total of 8 hours. Normally, it's just 4.
Why did you feel the need to leave?
Oh, because we were just scared of the storm. So with 2 kids, when power going out, didn't want to take the chance.
And we counted at least 25 flights coming in from Florida tomorrow, some as early as 6 a.m. We also checked out the prices for those flights. The cheapest we found was around $400. The most expensive, about $1,000. Live at Reagan National Airport tonight.